Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit today about choice, in particular choice when it comes to the vaccination. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the COVID vaccination. Should you get it? Should you not get it? That sort of thing. I want to talk about that today. I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert on the matter or anything like that. I'm just a guy that has some thoughts, and if you would like to hear those thoughts, then stick around. But yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the COVID vaccine, about getting it, not getting it, and I figured, you know what, it is time for another serious Sunday video, even though it is not Sunday. That's just how we do it sometimes. Let me take these things out of my ears real quick, actually. So yeah, I want to talk about this. Now, you're going to hear, in fact, you probably already have heard, a lot of different opinions on, you know, whether you should get it for this reason, that reason, so on and so forth, by this expert, that expert, and these are all the reasons why you should get it. Now, some of those reasons are going to be really good reasons, some of them maybe not so much, you know, just how it goes. But then you've probably also heard a lot of different reasons, a lot of opposing reasons to why you shouldn't get it. You know, this reason, that reason, and this expert says that, and this person says this, and this, that, and the other. And yeah, again, some of those are going to be good reasons, and some of them maybe not so much. You know, that's just how these things go. And then you decide for yourself as to which one you do. Now, for myself, I did decide to go ahead and get the vaccine, and like a lot of people, I was apprehensive at first. You know, I remember somewhere around about the beginning of the pandemic, they were saying that's going to be at least a year and a half before any kind of vaccine gets made, and even then there could be like months and years of testing and things like that. I remember them saying things like that at the beginning of when it all kind of started, and then less than 1 year later, we've got a vaccine ready to go, and it's like, oh, okay, that seemed a bit quick, didn't it? So yeah, I get it. You know, people are worried about, you know, how well it was tested, or is it ready, and this, that, and the other. You know, I get it. You know, these apprehensions, these worries don't just come out of nowhere. But, you know, after it's been around for a while, I figured, okay, you know, there's going to be side effects, and so far it seems like the side effects are pretty minimal, and, you know, for the lifestyle that I would like to pursue and live, I figured for myself that was the best choice to make. So I went ahead and made that choice, stuck my arm out and got it injected with a couple of doses. But here's the thing, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should get it or not. That's entirely up to you. That is your choice to make. What I do want to do though is just talk about this rhetoric that's going on, where it just seems like there's a lot of arguing going back and forth. And when I say arguing, what I mean is that there's one group of people who are shouting that you should get the vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, then you're an idiot. And another group of people that are shouting that you shouldn't get the vaccine. If you do get the vaccine, then you're a sheep, and that kind of thing. And it is just shouting. It is just two groups of people shouting, and nobody's really listening to each other. Nobody's really taking on board what the other is saying. It's just two people shouting their opinions across, and it's just not going anywhere. And this isn't new, you know, this is not just with COVID. Of course, it's pretty much with just about any kind of hot button subject you can think of. You get two groups of people shouting at each other, and nobody really listens to each other. And the thing is, we spend a lot of time talking about compassion, understanding. We spend a lot of time talking about, you know, trying to see where other people are coming from, even if we don't agree with their viewpoints, you know. Just trying to not get run over by the way real quick. I was waiting for these cars to slow down. I think we're good now. You know, we spend a lot of time talking about, you know, trying to understand other people's viewpoints and seeing where people come from and being compassionate and considerate and that sort of thing. We spend a lot of time talking about mental health and trying to understand things and that sort of stuff. But it seems when the poop hits the spinning device, that just all goes out the window because there's not a lot of compassion being shown. There's not a lot of understanding being extended to people. You know, it's just my way or you're an idiot. My way or, you know, you're a this and you're a that. And it's not very compassionate at all right now. It's like far from it. And it's just like, okay, I feel like I get it to some degree. And I feel like I get it to some degree in that there's a lot of people who are scared right now that perhaps just don't want to admit that they're scared. But if we're being honest, there's a lot to be scared about. You know, if you've decided to get vaccinated, you know, you're worried that if not enough people get vaccinated, what does that mean for you? You know, can you still do the things that you want to do? Can you still go out to the places you want to go to? Can you still mingle and all that whole thing? You know, I get it. It's scary if you get vaccinated, but not enough people around you get vaccinated. You know, I mean, we already know that you can still get the virus anyway if you've been vaccinated, right? You still know that. But if you are, let's say, the only one in your community that got the jabs and nobody else did, you're potentially surrounded by a whole bunch of people who walk around with this sickness. That means that 5% chance that you can get it, you know, is a little bit higher now because there's just so many people with the potentially with the virus around you, right? I'm gonna try and find something to sit, to be honest, but it's a bit awkward around these parts of town. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, I get it. There's a lot of fear right now. If not enough people get the vaccination, what does that mean for you? And I get that produces a lot of fear inside somebody, a lot of worry inside somebody. And it's okay to be scared, you know, because it is a scary time. You know, pretty much anybody alive right now, this is the first time we're dealing with something like this. But that fear should never translate into just insulting people, because that gets us nowhere. And on the other side, if you decided not to get the vaccine, then I get it. There's a lot of fear there too. You know, you can get sick. You know, you can get sick. You can get some virus that is new, that affects people in so many different ways. Maybe you might be okay, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll get it and it'll be over in a week. Maybe you'll get it and you have long-term breathing problems. You know, maybe you'll be on a respirator for an extended period of time. But you're worried that if you inject this thing inside you, what does it do? You know, but maybe it protects you from COVID, but it might mean, 5 years down the line, you turn into a zombie. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Well, hopefully I'm exaggerating. But you know what I mean? I get it. I know there's a lot of fear in the unknown because this is new. This virus is new. This vaccine is new. Everything is new, and there are going to be things that we don't know. And the truth is, no matter which one you do, whether you take the vaccine or not, one way or another, you're taking some kind of a risk. And I get it. Anytime there's a risk, there's fear. But I think it's important to acknowledge that fear rather than letting that fear rule you. Because the moment we let that fear rule our decisions and rule the way we handle situations or the way we discuss things or the way we talk to people, we've pretty much abandoned our humanity. And when we abandon our humanity, well, if we have to abandon our humanity to save humanity, what are we really saving, right? So I get it. There's a lot of fear going around right now and a lot of people scared right now. I totally understand that because it is a scary time. But I think we just need to acknowledge that we're scared. To say that we're scared. We're all scared of something. We're all worried about something. Whether you took the vaccine or whether you didn't take the vaccine, there's something about this whole situation that frightens you. And I get it. It's understandable. And we should be okay to just admit that rather than insulting people because they didn't do the thing that you did. You know, we're not smarter than anybody because you got it. You're not smarter than anybody because you didn't, because you got vaccinated. You know, you're not smarter than anybody because you didn't get vaccinated. You know, we're all operating on whatever information we have in the best way we can, and hoping that the thing we did was the best. You take your whole life experiences, all the things you know, all the things you believe, and all the experiences you've had, and all the information that we've been given, which, by the way, let's be honest, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of things about the situation that haven't been handled particularly well through our governments, and they haven't exactly helped with a lot of things. But that's, we won't get into that right now, but yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing, right? But yeah, there's a lot about this situation that is scary, and that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to just say, you know what, I am worried about this, because if enough people don't get vaccinated, I'm scared for what it means in my life. If I get vaccinated, I'm scared for what it could mean to my life. And I think that's what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I say, I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert. Just find a place to sit, by the way. Let me sit down for a second. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert. I'm not claiming to have any kind of special knowledge. I'm just, some guy on the internet that tries to observe things and look at the world and make sense of it best I can. I think a lot of us are trying to do that, trying to make sense of this world in the best way we can. But I just feel like with everything, there's this whole argument going on right now. I don't think that gets us anywhere. I don't think that helps. I don't think it's a good idea. It's just be insulting to people. Think about this. Like, if you've ever been insulted in your life, which I'm sure most, if not all of you have, at some point in your life, somebody's insulted you. Have you ever then thought to yourself, I better take on board this person's point of view? Probably not, right? Probably not. Well, maybe not. I mean, maybe in some situations, I guess it depends. But you know what I mean? Like, if you have a discussion with somebody and you have a disagreement with them and they just flat out insult you, that's not a good way to bring you onto their side of thinking, because for one thing, you've just been insulted, so we're now on the defensive. Now maybe our ego starts getting involved. And look, the thing is, the person insulting you could very well be right. Right? That could happen. The person insulting you could very well be correct on the situation. But the fact that they've insulted you is now like, well, I don't like being insulted. They've got that kind of feeling going on. So we know this. We know that insulting people isn't a good way to create understanding. But yet that's what we're doing right now. You're this and you're that because you don't do this, and you're this and you're that because you did that, and it gets us nowhere. We can see that it gets us nowhere. We know it gets us nowhere. Like I said, this isn't a new thing. Just about every hot button topic, people just insult each other for their disagreements, and nobody's trying to understand. Nobody's trying to use the compassion that we talk about. Nobody's trying to use the understanding that we talk about. Nobody's trying to, consider other people's concerns, why they might feel a certain way and why they might not feel a certain way. Nobody's trying to do that. It's just, you disagree with my opinion, or you don't do the thing that I want, then you're this. And it's getting us nowhere. It's gotten us nowhere because we're still arguing about it. So it's like in the Matrix. I think it's in the Matrix. I think it says in the Matrix, he says, either the red pill or the blue pill, make a choice. You make a choice. You take a chance either way. I think it says something like that. You take a chance either way, and it's just like that right now. You don't get to not take a risk. That's just life. So whatever you do, whether you get vaccinated or not get vaccinated, one way or another, you're gonna take a risk. One way or another, you're stepping into an unknown. It's just how it is. That's just the nature of any, or at least most situations. And if you have genuine concerns about things, then yeah, you should be allowed to voice that. And people should, listen to that and try to answer those concerns. Like if you're genuine about, wanting more people to be vaccinated, then yeah, listen to those concerns, answer those concerns. If not, then just sit down. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's a lot of people who just want to win. You know what I mean? They just want to win. It's not about winning. It's not about winning. Settle down. It's not about winning. You know, people have to do what's right for themselves, and the only way anybody changes their mind is by addressing the things that cause them to think that way in the first place. And if you're not willing to do that, sit down. You know what I mean? Sit down, because all this insults, it gets us nowhere. It creates unnecessary animosity. You know, if what you want to do is like win and, you know, my side and your side, it's just come on, man, sit down, because it's just ridiculous right now. But hey, I'm just some guy on the internet, some guy sitting on a bench somewhere in London, espousing a few thoughts to a mobile phone, watching a world pass by. There's a sign of it. I don't know if you can see it way in the back. It's probably too far to see in the camera. There's a sign in the back. It says, get a regular COVID test, even if you're vaccinated. So yeah, there's a few other signs around about getting a vaccination as well. But hey, anyway, there's